Hey guys, so it's been a very long time since my last video. Truth is, this run took a lot longer than I expected. I started this run on May 13th but didn't actually complete the run until June 10th. There were certain sections of this run where I got so burnt out that I stopped playing it for several days. This run was supposed to be a trial run of sorts for the next challenge I had planned, that run being about attempting to complete Nuka World without taking any damage. Anyways, the rules for the challenge were surprisingly simple. Take no damage. I had set my maximum health to 1, although later you'll see I set it even lower. Fallout 4 didn't know what to do with my health being set lower than 1, so I just set 0 out of 0 HP. I also have a few mods installed to help me optimize the game so it doesn't crash on me so much. I don't think it had crashed once throughout the entire playthrough. Speaking of mods, it was time for me to skip the intro sequence. I have well over 2,000 hours in this game, and seeing the intro sequence for the 100th time will probably melt my brain. As for stats, I put 8 into Charisma to get the Intimidation perks, so enemies will put a bullet in my back as soon as they see me. Near the end of the run, I kind of forgot about this mechanic. It might seem crazy to put 4 points into endurance when I can't even take damage. I did this to have more action points when running from enemies. After experiencing the deep freeze, I awake over 200 years later. Since this is a new save file, I first have to edit my mods using the mod configuration menu. In hindsight, I think the Pack Attack mod may have caused the game to be even harder than intended. This challenge is technically possible without using console commands, but it would make my life so much easier just to auto-reload a save file every time I took damage. After getting eaten several times by radroaches, I snagged the Pip-Boy and made my way to the surface. I promised myself I wouldn't use any exploits or cheats unless absolutely necessary, but later on I did grind for experience. Reaching the surface, I headed straight for Sanctuary Hills. I can't remember why I did this, but I wasted several minutes scrapping nearly everything I could. At one point, I got hit with a projectile from a blowfly. Somehow, that didn't kill me. I didn't yet understand the Vault 2 protected me from damage. I carried on and started scrapping everything at Red Rocket. Ignoring Dogmeat, I headed into the mole rat's nest below the gas station. I can't remember why I was here, as I couldn't even use the fusion core for the power armor. Maybe it was just for experience? I won't talk about every encounter with mole rats, not at least until I start talking about Vault 81. Since I reached level 2, I noticed something odd but not unexpected. I gained health every time I reached a new level. That means I have to reset my health back to 1 HP. While I was in the area, I decided to place a few turrets down to take care of the blood bugs that were feasting on a nearby brawling corpse. After spending far too long looking for a certain location on my map, I find it and set my waypoint there. If I recall correctly, I had some plan about getting an upgraded sniper rifle to clear out Saugus Ironworks factory and getting a magazine to help me level up quicker. When investigating Concord, I got into combat for the first time. Automatic weapons are the worst when I can't take damage. I eventually succeeded in killing some of the raiders, though Preston did most of the work. I leveled up again and picked Locksmith as my next perk. Remember when I said earlier I put 8 points into Charisma when creating my character? Yeah, I never actually used those 8 points, so that was a waste. After wandering around some more, I found myself in Lexington. This is where I got stuck behind a wall trying to destroy a turret. I only had a few Molotovs and a frag mine. After many more unnecessary deaths, I arrived at the Red Rocket gas station. I can't recall why my recording stopped here, but I think it was because my power went out. The power outage corrupted my save file too, but luckily it was just the quick saves. Unfortunately, my last hard save was like 30 minutes ago, so I had to go back and retrieve the rifle. Still exploring in random directions, I found myself at the General Atomics Galleria. From there, I convinced the director that I am the supervisor. This is why I love having 8 into Charisma. I can basically say anything to any NPC and they'll just accept it as fact. Heading back to Red Rocket gas station to drop off some stuff, I convinced Wolfgang to GTFO ASCP from the Dremlin Diner. Further along my route to wherever I was planning on going, I found myself at the Mass Fusion Containment Shed. Using my new rifle, I decided to pick the ghouls off at point blank range. Instead of racing to beat the game as fast as possible, I decided to take on a super mutant encampment. After dying a few more times, I turned around and see an Assaultron making quick work of the mutants. After hauling my ass out of there, I encountered 2 Deathclaws and a Yao Guai duking it out. Finally arriving at Saugus Ironworks, I attempted to lure one of the nearby Deathclaws to clear out the raiders guarding the place. I died several times here trying to enact my plan. At one point, I resorted to hiding in a shack nearby. I have finally vacated the area and left for Bronner pastures. Since I never began that magazine, I really didn't have a specific goal in mind. I wandered around for a bit until I got stuck behind a tree with a poorly timed quick save. An Assaultron several levels higher than me came sprinting towards me while I was taking pot shots at it. At one point I attempted to frenzy it so it would clear out the area for me, but that never worked out. Further along my route, I encountered yet another Deathclaw. Why are they suddenly everywhere? I should probably mention here that I found a hazmat suit in Hugo's hole. I'll be using it for the majority of this run from here. Still wandering aimlessly, I found myself at the Museum of Witchcraft in Salem. Instead of avoiding it like I should, I end up investigating it. If you ever been to the location, you'd know that there's yet another Deathclaw inside. At this point, you'd think I know better than take on a f***ing glowing Deathclaw. What I didn't expect to see is two of them in the building. I died many times here before I was able to make it back outside. Eventually, I found myself at some old geezer's house. Apparently, the sniper on the roof is Barney Rook, and I owe him a favor since apparently I just disturbed all the Mirelurks in the area. You'd think I'd take him out from a distance using the sniper rifle I picked up earlier, but no, I didn't do that. Instead, for some reason, I used landmines to blow up the lurks. Multiple times I blew myself apart trying to throw mines at the lurks. I eventually settled on using a minigun to clear out what I can, before switching back to landmines, blowing myself apart in the blasts. You'd think I had learned my lesson by now, what with all the deaths from the mines and everything, but no, I insisted on using them again. I even had a nuka mine of all things. But wait, it gets even worse. A f***ing glowing Mirelurk hunter. I said nope to that and hauled ass out of there. The lurks are so strong they destroyed all the turrets I set up. After dying 100,000 more times, I finally made it back to Barney Rook, where he gifted me Reba 2. This rifle does 50% more damage to Mirelurks than other bugs. Too bad the Lurk's shell is so resistant to penetration. About 30 minutes later, I find myself at USAF Station Olivia, where I try to be sneaky, but a radar nails me in the back of the head, giving me quite the startle. I get revenge by critically injuring his head. Further into the utility tunnels, I encounter Ak-Ak and her deadly minigun. Rapid-fire spitting guns are the bane of my existence in this run. I die several more times here. I finally get a chance to VATS her ass, and VATS fucks me over. 63% chance at point-blank range and I miss. Luckily I was able to strike her again, and her head doesn't exist anymore. Further down in the utility tunnels, it was bound to happen at some point. I quick-saved the moment a Radroach was about to lunge at me. I got stuck real good here. I contemplated loading an older save before eventually going back in time before I perpetually died to the roach. After clearing out the raiders again and setting fire to the roaches, I noticed something very shitty. I forgot to reset my health back to 1. This wouldn't be a problem if I didn't do the exact same thing again. I once again quick saved when a roach was inches from my face. After finally clearing out the satellite station, I find myself at the robotics disposal ground. For reasons I still don't understand, I wanted even more fusion cores. On my way back to Sanctuary, I decided to take pot shots at some nearby raiders. Why I used the 10mm pistol, I have no idea. By the way, here are my perks since I haven't talked about them yet. Sometime later, I decided to finally clear out Corvega assembly plant. I think at this point I just wanted the experience points so I could finally take the gun nut perk to add a silencer to my rifle. I don't think I had mentioned it yet, but I decided when I started this run to side with the Brotherhood of Steel. Still not satisfied with my slaughter at the Corvega assembly plant, I decided to take on Red at the Federation stockpile. With 44 .308 rounds, I hit atop one of the overpasses and started sniping rares down below. I shot rounds all through the night and into the next day. I eventually got bored and made my way closer to the main building. Then I got my skull absolutely shattered by a raider nearby. After repeatedly getting my ass handed to me by this one raider, I cowered behind a rock and waited for him to forget about me. I won't talk too much more about this area, but just know that after killing Red I hit level 22. After exiting the stockpile, I take the Bloody Mess perk as my next perk, and hightail it back to the nearest settlement so I can not take the silencer, but instead waste some raiders, one which is legendary. As per usual, I die many times here until I finally finish them off. That was the easy part. The hard part was trying to find the body in all the overgrowth. As it turns out, I turned him into meatballs, a total waste of time. All that killing must have been too much to handle because I left the game running for a long time while I went to do something, probably food related. After returning from the kitchen, I wandered around some more until I found Jules, a synth that was betrayed by his friends, except Jules was facing the wrong way about 100 feet from the rest. Strange, that's a new one.
Hey.
Huh?
Hey there.
Yeah? Yeah?
After that splitting my sides received, I randomly wandered around for many miles. I cleared out Beantown, Tomato Town, and eventually found myself back at the Overland Station. I decided to do something funny to the settlers. I placed a bottle cap mine on the ground near one of them. Too bad it went off damn near instantly. I tried it again, the same thing happened. After wandering around even more, I eventually stumbled upon the crashed UFO that I completely forgot about. After killing the alien, I acquired his blaster. I have big plans for this later. About 1,500 words ago, I mentioned Vault 81. I finally put my charisma to good use and convinced the Overseer to let me in. Further into the vault, I failed to follow Austin and instead beelined it right to Dr. Forsyth. I wanted to see if him drawing blood would cause my heart to stop working, but that did not happen. It would have been funny to see though.
Hardly heard of.
Okay, I'll be honest, the last 10 minutes are just filler. But this right here, this is where the real meat of the challenge is found. I hope you're paying attention because I'm about to save Austin without taking any damage from any of the mole rats. I can't get bit once or I die. After entering the secret underground vault, I expected to see more mole rats already attacking me. It was eerily quiet though, like the calm before the storm. That was until I started climbing the stairs. Just one rat attacked me, but I put it down after missing shot to shot. Then I got spooked by the automatic vault security. A grenade took care of that though. Further into the vault, I started sneaking around like a little gopher. Wouldn't want the rats and security to know I'm here. That would end in disaster. Which is exactly what happened. I got stuck in a diner while a turret was firing excessively at me. Using the revolver I got for my birthday, I loudly stomped around my way around the old vault, making sure everything was dead before carrying on. No shit I can beat Fallout 4 without taking damage. I have a gun that does damage. The hardest part was just being patient. There is no cutscene that damages the player, or commands that turn on God mode. I think this was the closest Fallout 4 got to being a hellhound round from COD Zombies. Rats unburrow themselves, come lunging at me, and I panic and die on round 5 like I always do. I suck at that game. That's when I pulled out the death machine and died damn near instantly after acquiring it. No wonder my old neighborhood friends didn't want me to join their sessions. Then again, one did start doing hard drugs, so I guess that's for the best. By this point, I started getting tired and just wanted the ray gun, so that's exactly what I did. I whipped out the alien blaster and started firing away. Then one of the mole rats started cheating. It was phasing between positions so I couldn't hit it no matter what I did. After some time, I encountered Kiri, a mist nanny who, after many years, only had one serum left. Normally, the player has gotten bit by this point and must either give it away or use it. However, that's not the case as I never got bit once. After resurrecting Austin, I made my way back outside to the Commonwealth. Did you notice my alien blaster? I modded it so it's the ray gun now. I still have to actually finish the mod, but it works and I find that really cool. After testing it on my neighbors, I decided to stall even more by clearing out Hangman's Alley. Somehow I got shot through the wooden fortifications. After many hours, I finally arrived at Diamond City. I decided to skip the dialogue with Piper and just bash her with my gun. She gets payback by interrupting my conversation with Sullivan, forcing me to skip the speech check with him.
You're Sullivan, right?
Finally arriving in Diamond City proper, on Halloween no less, I start doing a bit of a shopping spree. I really needed more 308 rounds, plus a bit of extra ammo won't hurt at all. All this in exchange for my 7 fusion cores I'd never need. Now over 8 hours into this run, I finally decided to meet up with Ellie. I'm sure that 2 weeks that Nick was stuck in the vault is more like 2 months at this point. I did the math and it's only been 8 days since Nate left. Wow, that feels like a lifetime ago since I recorded that. I guess it has been 82 days, god damn. Anyway, while I was in the area, I decided to start Diamond City Blues. After peacefully convincing Cook to stop sleeping with Paul's wife, I threw a nuke grenade directly at Trish, nuking everyone in the process with her somehow surviving. Nearly 3,000 words later, and at level 24 now, I finally, for the real this time, entered Park Street Station to rescue Nick Valentine. I breezed through the Triggermen with ease, only dying a few times, is what I would say if I were actually good at Fallout 4, and not quick save the moment a goon walked around the corner. Damn henchman always in my way. When meeting up with Nick, I realized this is the first time I used a companion in this run. Whether I like it or not, Nick is a forced companion until we reach Diamond City again. and more goons stand between us and Skinny Malone. When meeting up with Malone, I convinced Darla to run home to her parents and leave him for good. This gives me enough time to run from him and not immediately get shot. Finally back in Nick's office after getting my ass handed to me on a silver platter, I tell him everything I know about Kellogg. Soon I will eat that cereal in person. Making my way to the house, I try to unlock it once, but fail. You'd think I had more points into lockpicking with my level being so high at this point. Level 25 if you're keeping track. When heading to the mayor's office, I encounter Malcolm Latimer, the father of the one I shouldn't have killed. I convince him that I am not William and carry on to get the key. After acquiring said key, I break into the cereal box and find a hidden toy. Skipping ahead a few minutes, I arrive at the cereal factory to win me a prize to help me find my son. In the factory proper, I got stuck in the restroom with synthetic humans blocking the door. I tried to plead with them, but they were not having it. Furthermore, actually, do I even need to say it? You already know what I did. After using Quick Revive around 5 with a ray gun in hand, I come face to face with the CEO of Frosted Flakes. The man, the myth, the legend, Kellogg. Actually, killing Kellogg was the hard part. I died many times here. I tried different tactics and what worked was just persistence. I won't show the whole battle as far too long to even talk over, but I may post the unedited video later. All 22 hours of it. With the Brotherhood of Steel arriving in the Commonwealth, I take a break from the game. A few days or so. Back in the game, I make my way to Good Neighbor. By the way, I skipped over a lot of boring settlement building. I cleared out the museum, help Sturgis, all that good stuff. There was no delaying it any longer. I had to dig around in Kellogg's memories. As boring as it may be, it must be done to complete the quest and consequently the game. The silver lining is that I can just run past all the memories and save a lot of time. Back outside, I made my way to the glowing sea. Surprisingly, not much happened there. A few deaths from some zombies, a stingwing, and some few others. Nothing my ray gun couldn't take care of. Meeting Virgil for the first time, he told me I needed to fight a courser. I was rightly worried because the Kellogg guy was bad. This was probably going to be even worse.
I'm here to kill you and take what's inside your head.
That.
Got something with a bit of a kick for me, kid?
Here. One.
You did good.
Uh-huh.
I see you. He's... Phew.
Z247 initialize factory reset. Authorization code Zeta 53 Kilo.
How did you?
Well, that was actually surprisingly easy. Thank God for Mama Murphy the Psychic. I know Nerbit would love to annihilate the railroad the first chance he gets, and I respect that. This annihilation would be hard for me to undertake though with one hit point to my name, so they get to live for now. I'm inside ArcJet with Dance now to get the Brotherhood of Steel's questline started. To be completely honest, I wanted this video to be 3 times longer, but I just can't make that happen. I've been editing this video since June and now it's August. Besides, you already know what's going to happen next. ArcJet was easy with Dance by my side, so now we're off to the Priblin. Captain Kells being the leader is Fort Strong, died a million more times. Died so many times I quit the game for several more days. Skipping, I don't know, like 3 more hours. I meet up with Dr. Lee from Fallout 3. Convince her to come back, Liberty Prime reprimed, nukes from Sentinel's site. If you really want to watch all 22 hours of this, a link will be in the description below to a playlist or something.
Outside the blast radius. Press that button, and you not only defeat our enemy, you restore order and decency to the Commonwealth. It's time, Paladin. The Institute...
Sir.
Let's get this done, Paladin.